Hi Guy, time for another retro TV commentary. Today we're going to have a look at Bad Influence, which launched in '92 and I think it ran for 4 series till about '96. So covered that period right from basically 16-bit era into 32-bit, so crossing into PlayStation, that sort of things. No, I remember watching myself as a kid back in the day. It was one of them after school shows I was absolutely mad about. And I have to apologise for the video quality. I mean, it was taken from a VHS copy years and years ago. This is the best I could find online. But yeah, anyway, let's watch and see what it's like. Awesome animation straight away. Sure about that comedy.
Hiya, welcome to Bad Influence, the only place you'll be able to see moving screenshots of the very latest games. Check this out, Streets of Rage 2.
See, this is pre-internet.
And the main review this week is Joe and Matt Caveman Ninja on the SNES. Our panel give their opinion.
And I'll be reporting from the world's leading virtual reality research lab. And it's pretty dangerous work, I can tell you.
The funny thing is, I'm watching this with VR hat on now.
Dee Wright, our American reporter. And we'll be seeing more of Dee, including the rest of his face, later on in the programme.
If you're into computer games, then the Bad Influence studio is the place to be. Why? Well, we've got such a range of equipment. Everything from this, remember this, the 10-year-old BBC Micro, to the very latest in
Bloody
handheld.
hell, that was retro even there.
This is called a quick shot supervision. What are you playing on it?
I'm playing Chris Ball.
Oh, I had one of them.
Whatever you've got, it'll be here somewhere. This one's a Neo Geo, one of the most advanced consoles in the world. But as well as games, we'll be looking at the other amazing things computers can do. Brad and Dina, our two Humanosaur characters in the video calls, were created on a paint package like this one. If you use a computer to do your painting, you can do all the things that pens and papers can do, and more. For example, I can do freehand drawing here, but then I can choose a square brush and a bigger brush, any size or shape,
Amazing.
and a different colour at the flick of a switch. And that O's not very good there, so I can
Amiga
choose
600.
any shape I want, be it a square or a circle, and get the perfect circle there. And then I can fill it in really, really quickly. And instead of using rulers for lines, you can say where you want your line to begin, where you want it to end, let go, and hey presto. And you can use this airbrush facility as well. Oh, got a mistake there. Get rid of it in a flash. You can do airbrushing, which basically is spray painting, which you definitely wouldn't be able to do at home otherwise. And the final one. Okay. And one
It
of my
does get
favourites
better.
is here, it's called colour cycling. And then you can save it to a or print it out and keep forever. Actually, this one's not very good, is it? I think I'll give it to Andy as a present.
I wonder if he's still
I
got
don't think
that.
Rolf Harris has got too much to worry about, has he? We'll be looking at other paint
Oh,
packages
yeah,
in
as
more
he's in
detail later
prison.
in the series, including this, which is Super Mario Paint, which will be available for your SNES after Christmas. In the meantime, though, we do want to hear from you. If you've got computer-generated pictures, animations, graphics, anything we show on telly, we'll get this. Go on. The Bad Influence T-shirts. We'd also like to hear from you, well, if you've got any views on anything to do with computer
wonder
games,
if anybody's still
consoles,
got one of
video
those.
games, and we'll give you the address to write to at the end of the programme. In fact, the address and loads of other bits of information will be in what we're going to call the data blast. To access it, all you need is this, your humble video recorder. Video the last minute or so of the programme, including the credits, which is the boring bit where everybody who made the show's names goes across the screen. Then when you've done that, rewind it and play it back. But don't play it back at full speed, using your pause and your frame advance if you've got one on your video. Spool through it slowly, and up to 50 pages of information will be at your disposal, including, look at this, some excellent cheats. I didn't know these Batman level codes.
Ah, hello you slimy furtlers. Namrud here. If it exists, I've cracked it. And quite frankly, you haven't. Right, we're going to start with something really easy for those of you with small brains and blue
God,
hedgehogs.
I wonder what this guy's up to
Sonic.
these days.
When he appears on the screen and waves his finger, press up, down, left, right, then quickly hit the A and start buttons together. All the levels are then listed on the screen, so you can select just which level you like. Violet, this is what level 2 looks like.
Charming, that Namrud. You can't believe a word he says, except when it comes to tips and tricks. And there'll be more coming up in Data Blast at the end of the programme, so watch out for that. Now, every week we'll be reviewing the latest games.
I think this
Our
has got the
reviewers
Data
are all
Blast
keen
on, so
players, and they'll be trying out the games and letting us know what they think.
you can freeze
This
it on
week's main
YouTube.
review is Joe and Matt Caveman Ninja on the SNES. It's a prehistoric action-adventure.
Okay, this is great fun to play. It's really fast. It's good graphics. Oh, I've just fallen down a hole. When this happens, a little angel comes up. You jump over, you've got to hit all the pterodactyls, falling down another hole. Jump over. What you've got to do is you've got to kill all these Neanderthal cavemen, and they stole all your women folk. So you've got to battle through each level to kill that. There's lots of good
he's
things to do.
worse than me at
Jumping,
playing
hitting
games.
people with your clubs. Basically, you just got to run through and save everyone. Okay, I'm now on level 6, and this is where you're in the frozen caverns. I just picked up some rocks, they're different weapons. It's a great fun game. The graphics are smooth and cartoony. The sound effects are excellent, especially on this level where it sounds as though you actually are in the cavern. I've just hit 2 Neanderthal men with my rocks, and now I'm running up to get the bonus, which is extra health.
I'm surprised this didn't
All
end
the
up as like a
platforms are
3D
split, which
platformer
makes it
on
give that added realism.
PlayStation and the
The
like.
music is different on every level, and that adds to the game. It makes it really addictive, and it's easy to pick up as well. It gets progressively harder as you go on. There's different dinosaurs, lots of different baddies, and it stops you getting bored. And the good thing about this game is, if you've got a friend, there's also a 2-player option. One of the best things about it is these end-of-level sprites.
Graphically, that is
It's
pretty
great fun
good.
to play, and I'd probably buy it. Looking forward to seeing it on the Game Boy.
I like the caveman idea, and the birds are brilliant.
It's such a simple game, but it's really brilliant, and the graphics and sound are great.
So the final scores for Joe and Mac. The boys gave it 4 out of 5, and the girls gave it 4 out of 5.
Go and get a pen and paper for this one. Pauses. Continues. The word of the week is level code. Well, actually, it's 2 words. It's a way of jumping levels that you've already completed in a game. For example, this is a game called Dr. Franken on the Game Boy. At the start of the game, you can choose to enter a level code. Of course, there's only 2 ways you can discover the codes. After each level, they're displayed on the screen, or you can copy this down. You'll start on level 4, Triassic.
Hey, look, Andy, I'm on level 4.
That's very good, Violet. Time now for our first American report from Z Wright, who's on a
Dear, oh
sightseeing tour of Seattle.
Well, virtually.
Seattle, capital of Northwest America. Often called the Emerald City, Seattle curves around the rim of Elliott Bay.
Gotta be VR. The early days. Yeah.
That has to be my best sightseeing trip ever, and I didn't have to walk a step. That's
In
live
fact, that
TV
was
in
quite similar to the
Seattle, only
Oculus.
exists inside a computer, but it felt pretty real to me. It's called virtual reality, and it's one of the newest ways for computers to present complicated information. Until recently, you can only communicate with your computer in a much more boring way, feeding it commands through a keyboard or a mouse. For many jobs, this is still the best way to use them. But some people need to cope with more information than can be contained on a flat screen. Now you can actually wear your computer. You're no longer on the outside looking in. The images and sounds go straight to your senses.
I mean, look at
giving you
that
a
track.
complete experience.
There's not even curves on it. That's how
There's
basic
one
the tech
TV screen
was.
for each eye, and these are stereo earphones. And the knob on top of the helmet is called a polemus, and it lets the computer track your movements. And there's a whole series of commands that can unlock the
There's
secret
actually
world.
there's some VR stuff on my channel I've covered which is just as basic as this. That was over 20 years ago.
This is the data glove. It uses fiber optics to tell the computer which way you want to go. Up, down, forwards, or backwards.
See, that's what we've
These
still
fantastic
not
worlds
got.
are not just fun to fly in. They demonstrate important new developments in computer science. They were made here at Seattle's Human Interface Technology Laboratory, or HIT Lab.
HitLab was set up because there was a demand for this technology in many, many fields. Architects wanted it, doctors wanted it.
Virtual technology allows scientists to get inside the human body. You can fly around inside a perfect replica of a human eye, pulling bits off when you need to get a closer look.
The purpose of the virtual eye was to eventually develop a simulator for eye surgery. We're doing this in conjunction with a group called Orbis International, eye surgeons that go around the world to various developing countries and do surgery on
So
blind
I
people
wonder
and
why
teach
the tech
local
just burnt out
folks
back
how
then. I
to do
mean,
these procedures. So eventually, people learning these procedures will learn them in virtual reality. They will go
just
in
for
and
expense, but
they
for
will see what looks like
research
a real eye,
purposes
and they'll
and
be able
stuff.
to practice and be able to correct their mistakes without having dire consequences on real people.
This virtual model of Seattle's Henry Art Gallery shows how VR can be used by architects to design buildings to precise scale. The virtual worlds give them a much better sense of real space than flat-screen design packages. But the HitLab isn't just interested in pictures. Sound that appears to come from the right direction can make the computer world seem much more real. This shark hunt game uses 3D sound so the hunter can work out where the sharks are coming from. At the moment, this is just a prototype for use in science labs, but a big game company is already working with the HitLab. Who knows? One day you may take a dip with Mario or Sonic. The future's looking really good. Instead of buckets and wires, you'll be able to slip into cyberspace as easy as putting on a pair of specs. This is Z-Right for Bad Influence in Seattle. Sorry, in cyberspace.
A happening place to be. A very happening place to be, cyberspace. See you
If
next
you
week.
saw films like Lawnmower Man, you might have thought that virtual reality was more realistic than
Yeah,
that.
it was the
But
90s.
these pictures show us exactly where virtual reality is at the moment. In the film, it's just special effects.
It's also very difficult to convey what virtual reality is really like on telly because it's a three-dimensional thing, and telly, of course, is only two-dimensional. But for what it's worth, take my opinion, it's excellent. Now on Bad Influence, this week's news and previews.
Sonic's back, and this time he's brought a friend. We're playing the Mega Drive version here.
Once again, you take Sonic on a high-speed chase through lots of levels to collect rings. His foxy friend's called Tails because he's got two. And in the two-player option, you can actually take a character each and race through the levels. Sonic goes faster than he did on the first game, and Tails can use both those tails and fly like a
Sonic
helicopter.
The
Tuesday.
finished version is scheduled for worldwide release on November the 24th.
So look out for that. Don't forget also the Future Entertainment Show from the 5th to the 8th of November at Earl's Court. All the latest in video games and virtual reality will be there, and so will the Bad Influence film crew. Future will be hosting the first Bad Influence National Games Championship. The preliminary round started across the country last week, and judging by the prizes, the Manchester winner Jeff Treasure walked away with, the finger fiddling and joystick juggling was well worth it.
Mario is soon to reappear in Super Mario Kart on the SNES. That fearless little plumber has taken to the racetrack and has brought his Mushroom World friends and enemies with him.
Mario's been very busy as he appears again here in Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy, due out early December. It promises to have all the fun of Mario Land and more. This time you can see Mario twizzle and spin and even fly when he gets some bunny ears.
Oh. If you still think gameplay requires too much effort, meet the Turbo Touch 360 control pad. It takes the strain out of pad bashing as it's touch sensitive.
They claim to improve your scores by helping you play longer.
that
Versions
D-pad
to fit
is
most
terrible.
machines should be in the shops by January and will cost you around £20.
And now for a mega first. Streets of Rage 2, the unfinished version. All the street action you'd expect, plus the secret weapons hidden inside ordinary-looking objects. This 16 meg game, the biggest ever for the Mega Drive, should be in the shops in January.
Remember where you saw it first, here on Bad Influence. Now for some more games reviews.
First up this week is Putty for the Amiga. It's a game like nothing you've seen before, a mixture of platform, puzzles and adventure. Here's Emma.
The object of the game is to collect bots, which
There
are
was a
just
sequel
robots,
just
and
re-released for
take
this
them back
recently.
to the spaceship so that they can go back to the home planet. Putty's a bit hard to control because it does so many things when it squidges and slimes. I like Putty's graphics because the colours make Putty stand out, and the backgrounds are good with the trees. I like the sound effects, the way it screams and the gun shoots. Over there's a punk rocker with some sunglasses and a gun who's trying to kill me. I'd definitely buy Putty, and I've already recommended it to one of my friends.
It's too sluggish. Great graphics and sound, but underneath it's not a good game.
The graphics are really good, especially for Cat, and it's not too fast and it's pretty playable. And the scores for Putty, the boys gave it 2 out of 5, and the girls gave it 4 out of 5.
Weird.
Next is Super Smash TV for the Game Gear. It's a classic arcade shoot-'em-up based on a
this was a
futuristic
good
TV
game.
game show. It's already appeared in other formats. Here's Lakesh.
The graphics are kind of dull. The idea behind it is quite simple, just destroy everything on the screen and collect the power-ups. This is the Mutoid Man, and he's the end-of-level guardian for level 1. To get through the level, it's fairly simple, but once you reach this guy, you need a lot of credits to get past him. I've been spending approximately 10 minutes just to complete this guy, and I'm not really getting very far, or I don't really know if I am. Oh, I'm dead.
Because you suck.
I wouldn't really buy Smash TV. There are better games out for the Game Gear, and personally I prefer Pac-Man to it.
It was quite good, but it was really difficult to see what was going on.
Was there
It's
a
okay,
Pac-Man on the Game Gear?
Fires are very good on the Game Gear.
And the scores for Super Smash TV, the boys only gave it 2 out of 5, and the girls 3 out of 5.
And finally, it's Battletoads for the NES. Here's Amanda.
Graphics on this are really fun, and cartoons, and you can really take your aggression out on them. And what I'm hitting at the moment is one of the monsters, and you've got to kill it twice in order for it to actually die. And then you pick up its bones, and you can hit them with this instead. This is level 2, and the gameplay is completely different. The graphics are really amazing. I mean, just look at these pictures, and the music isn't irritating, which is really good as well. This game's just amazing, and I definitely buy it.
The graphics are really good, but I'm not that keen on it. It's just gratuitous violence.
I like the graphics. This is a good game.
And the scores for Battletoads, the boys gave it 4 out of 5, and the girls gave it 4 out of 5.
Tip of the week. I hope you still got that pen and paper ready. Remember, never share a joypad with someone who's been eating treacle sandwiches. Zool is the best-selling game this week on the Amiga, and here's how to cheat at it. When the game's loading, you get this screen. Type in goldfish. The screen flashes. Well, it would, wouldn't it? Because you're now in cheat mode. Keys F1 to F6 let you choose any world that you want. There are some other cheats on the other keys, but you'll have to find those out for yourselves.
Thanks, Nam. He'll be turning up every week with tips and hints and cheats. But don't let that put you off. There'll be some interesting stuff too.
Yeah, we're going to be asking some serious questions of the game's manufacturers, like, why do console cartridges cost up to £65?
But Bad Influence isn't just about games. We'll also be finding out about all the other exciting things computers can do, like this, for instance.
And now for something completely different.
I'm sorry, I'll say that again. And now for somebody completely different.
That wasn't quite as painful as it looked. It's a computer trick called morphing, which is short for metamorphosing. You've probably seen it in commercials or films. This is Igor. Igor's brilliant. He's a very clever little robot. He learns just like we do by trying things out, making mistakes and learning from them. Later in the series, we'll show you how he learned to hop like that all by himself.
And don't forget the Bad Influence magazine
just use a
available
Raspberry
from
Pi for that
mid-November.
now.
It's packed full of tips and reviews and info on the programme. And that's about it for this week, except the competition. And the question is as follows. What are the names of our 2 Humanosaur characters? That's those 2 on the screen behind me.
Here's a clue. The answer's not Violet and Andy, but if you think you know what it is, put it on a postcard or a stuck-down envelope
I have
and
no
send it to
idea,
us
and
here
I
at Bad
just watched
Influence
the
to reach
show.
us by next Monday, please. First out of the sack, we'll get a Nintendo Action Pack with Super Scope. But better than that, you'll get a Bad Influence T-shirt as well. Don't forget to video the data blast for the address.
Here we go, get ready, guys.
And we'll leave you with a clip of Sonic 2. It's a very special secret level that only 2 people and a blue hedgehog know the code for.
See you Saturday, 9:25 for What's Up, Doc. Take care. Bye-bye.
What a good start of that for an episode. Well, I'll leave it running for the data blast, but as always, guys, thanks for watching, and please look out for another retro show next Sunday.